Cecil Soil Conservation District proudly presents Edgar Hevelow as our 2014 Cooperator of the Year. Edgar, known to his friends as Duty, and his wife, Bernice, have farmed for 60 years. Duty's involvement with the Cecil Soil Conservation District encompasses nearly the whole span of his farming career, and he only recently retired from his position on the District Board of Supervisors. The Hevelow's 160-acre grain farm, located in Warwick, Maryland, is bounded by Sassafras Road to the north and Route 301 to the south. Fields of row crops are divided by a tributary that runs south to the Sassafras River. Duty and his siblings were raised on a farm outside of Cecilton, on land now owned by the Sheelers. He acquired his nickname as a child when it was his responsibility to open and close field gates for the tractors, and he would be told to do his duty. The family moved to the Broxton farm, owned by the Hurt family, in 1946. The Hevelow family would continue to farm this land for the next 68 years. In 1949, Duty graduated from Cecilton High School. He recalled later in an interview with the Cecil Whig, "I swore as a kid I wouldn't farm, but I married in June and started farming for myself. I had no idea I would. Now I love it." He met Bernice on a 4-H hayride, and they were married on June 20th, 1953. They began renting Old Bohemia Farm, where they kept a dairy herd. Bernice, a farm girl born and raised, worked alongside her husband, milking, working ground, and putting up hay and straw. Their daughters, Dottie and Connie, grew up on the farm, feeding calves, gathering eggs, and participating in 4-H. Dottie remembers as a mischievous 5-year-old convincing her 3-year-old sister to climb the farm's windmill and then following her up. When Bernice caught them, a scolding resulted. Neither daughter followed their parents into farming, but today, Dottie works with farmers in her position at the Cecil and Harford County Farm Service agencies. In 1970, the Hevelows bought a 160-acre dairy farm in Warwick, where they kept a dairy herd until 1975. Duty also farmed an additional 1,000 acres, growing corn, soybeans, and wheat with his brother William, known as Sox, and their father. Throughout their farming career, the Hevelows had several farmhands, one of whom, Billy Snow, worked for them for over 50 years. In 1973, Duty was honored as Cecil County's Farmer of the Year at the Cecil County Farm Bureau banquet. Farming is a temperamental business, and some years brought bad droughts, and in 1993, even a tornado. This wreaked severe damage at the Broxton farm, which Duty was still renting. Several buildings were demolished, and he quipped that his corn was flatter than a flounder. Still, persistence, hard work, and faith kept him farming, and in 1999, he built a new house on his home farm. Duty joined the Cecil Soil Conservation District Board of Supervisors in August 1972, upon the encouragement of Sam Caldwell, a former board member. Duty served on the district board for 41 years, retiring in 2013. During his years as a supervisor, he filled the position of treasurer, promoted conservation practices, taught workshops, accepted many awards on the district's behalf, including Maryland's Outstanding District of the Year, and attended tours throughout the county. He even starred in a short educational video about chisel plowing technique.
Chisel plowing is another way of keeping the waterways in better shape, because moldboards have a tendency to, the ground is so loose that it runs away from it. The chisel plow does keep the water more in one place. And you can lift out over them. You don't you don't make humps and you don't make ditches with them. So it's a pretty much of a plus thing.
One of Duty's proudest achievements while serving on the board was the installation and maintenance of miles of community drainage ditches in southern Cecil County. For many years, flooding had been a severe concern in areas around Warwick and Cecilton. Community drainage improvement projects began in the 1970s to prevent flooding and provide drainage in areas with high water tables. Duty encouraged his fellow landowners to participate in providing drainage relief for the community and was involved with educational outreach. The district continues to manage the stewardship of these ditches today. Duty also served as the Cecil representative on the Maryland Eastern Shore Resource Conservation and Development Council. The purpose of the council was to restore, enhance, and preserve the natural environment through various projects, including the Town of Northeast's Shoreline Stabilization Project. More recently, the Sassafras River Association collaborated with several agencies to install a project on the Crawford property, which Duty farmed. The project includes a grassed waterway and a treatment wetland, which consists of a series of wetland areas. These are designed to filter nitrogen and phosphorus from stormwater before it reaches the Sassafras River. Duty has a long history of commitment to conservation, and he has utilized many agricultural best management practices. On the Broxton farm, the entire downslope border of the western crop fields is enrolled in the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program as a conservation cover field border. A total of 6 grassed waterways and 7 grade stabilization structures were installed to minimize erosion. In the early 1990s, Duty and landowner Woodland Hurt were among the first in the Delmarva region to complete a series of 4 water and sediment control basins, or WASCOBs, which still are functioning today. This practice consists of a farmable berm, a standpipe, and a piping system to detain and safely convey runoff, keeping the entire field in production. On the home farm, approximately 140 acres are cropland and 10 are wooded. Duty annually implements a number of agronomic conservation practices, including crop rotation, nutrient management, no-till residue management, and integrated pest management. Cover crops are planted following the summer's crop and are used to prevent erosion, take up excess nutrients, and increase soil health. In the 1990s, a grassed waterway and rock grade stabilization structure were installed to convey water to a stable outlet in order to reduce erosion in the field. Duty also constructed a pond east of his house to collect sediment from upland areas. Following the pond construction, a stream crossing was installed to allow equipment access to the back of the farm. The pond riser and barrel were replaced in 2013. From a young boy on the family farm to an active member of the agricultural community, Duty has demonstrated a strong commitment to conservation. In an interview with the Cecil Whig in 1997, Duty said, "I love what I'm doing. I'd rather climb up into my combine than go to any beach or go hunting or anything. Nothing makes me happier." Duty has done what he loved for 60 years, so in 2013, he retired from farming to take some well-earned rest and relaxation. We honor Duty Hevelow for his years of dedication to the mission and vision of the Cecil Soil Conservation District.